Watching Barca play these mid to low table La Liga teams might be the death of me, bro. They just can't seem to figure it out. Another 90-minute ass-clenching worthy performance from Barcelona. I can't relax watching this team. It's Las Palmas. It should be an easy win, but we make it difficult. But you know what? It doesn't matter because they get the win no matter what. Barca defeat Las Palmas 2-0 away from home. And with this win, they guarantee they remain in first place for the remainder of the weekend. Whether Madrid win or lose tomorrow against Girona, it doesn't matter. Barca will remain in first place, which is the most important thing. But yeah, bro, you give us Real Madrid, they score 4 and 5. You give us Bayern Munich, they score 4 goals. You give us Benfica, they score 5 goals. You like any other team, like good teams, Barca go crazy against them. But against bad teams, it's like we don't know how to play football. They don't know how to play football. It's so infuriating to watch. And that first half was so frustrating, bro. Probably the most frustrating half I've watched under Hansi Flick. Barca misplaced like 15 passes in that first half. And it seemed like every time a Barca player would misplace a pass, they would look at their teammates and complain. They were so disorganized. It seemed like everybody got a different instruction from Hansi Flick on what to do, and the other players didn't know what that player was supposed to do. You guys get what I'm saying? Like, did you notice that too in that first half? Like, Balde would misplace a pass to, let's just say Pedri, and he would be looking at Pedri and complaining, like, why are you there? And I was just like, guys, did we not have a team talk before this? Like, did Hansi Flick not tell you where you were supposed to be? Did he not give you instructions that everybody could hear so you guys all were on the same page? But yeah, like that first half, everybody underperformed in my opinion, apart from one guy, and that guy's Alejandro Valde, who continues to be, for the past 2 months, probably the best left back in world football. I mean, this guy, it's so good to see him regain that form. We saw that Valde under Xavi when Barca won the league, and to see him do this again, I'm so happy, bro, because he's such a great player. He has such a high football IQ. He's so athletic. He's so direct. I love watching Valde play, and I'm so happy that he's regaining that confidence once again. If this guy can keep up that form, he's gonna be insane for the remainder of his career. But yeah, man, to me, the only good player in that first half was Balde. I thought Casado had a few good moments and also Szczesny. But the most standout player to me was Balde. The whole other, like everybody else apart from Casado, Szczesny, and Balde to me underperformed. I thought the back line was decent but not great. I thought the front three was terrible. More specifically, the front three. Even Pedri, who's been amazing, had a pretty poor first half. But Lamine Yamal to me had a terrible first half. I thought Lamine Yamal was looking really shaky in that first half. I was starting to get worried about Lamine Yamal. If he didn't have the second half that he had, I was going to be really worried about Lamine because these past 4 or 5 games, I mean, people have been pointing it out. But today, his body language was just not great, and his decision making was not great. He had so many misplaced passes, so many times where he was just selfish with the ball and just held on to the ball for too long. And you know, I was starting to get worried about him because I was like, what's up with this body language from Lamine? It just didn't seem like the guy that we're used to seeing on the pitch. But in that second half, he played a lot better. Ferran, by the way, was terrible in that first half. Ferran was fucking terrible in that first half. Got the start and just wasn't good enough. That's why Flick took him out right when the second half started. But yeah, to me, Lamine just wasn't great. Lewa wasn't great. Rafinha wasn't great in that first half. But in the second half, Barca played a lot better, and that's when the goals came. The 2 goals obviously came in the second half. The first goal was courtesy of Lamine Yamal to courtesy of Dani Olmo with a pass from Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal with a great play. I mean, to thread that needle with that pass to Dani Olmo is fantastic, and the carrying of the ball, he had to actually get to pass it to Olmo. It was amazing as well. But yeah, Dani Olmo with a great finish, just fucking posting in. Great goal. A great goal from Dani Olmo. And that goal, man, we needed that goal so badly because I don't think, you know, it was starting to look like Barca were not going to score in that game. It was starting to look like Barca were not going to score in that game. But again, a moment of brilliance from Lamine Yamal to find his teammate in the box, and Dani Olmo takes care of the rest. And I think when Dani Olmo came in that second half, he really changed that game. So I'm really happy Flick made that sub. He saw on the spot that Ferran wasn't working, and he pivoted quick. He was like, you know what, it's not working. Let's bring in Dani Olmo. And that is a great safety net to have on your bench. To have Dani Olmo on your bench, so you could just bring him into a game at any moment. It's such an advantage that Barca have because Dani Olmo is such a great player. So to see him come in and do that, I was really happy for Dani because it's been kind of an up and down first season for him at Barca. Not because he hasn't performed well. Every time he plays, he plays he plays at a high level. It's just he's been in and out with injuries. So to see him come into the game and score that goal, I was super happy for him. And then the second goal, right before the end of the game, Ferran Torres comes on. Rafinha finds him with a great ball, a beautiful pass from Rafinha, and then Ferran with another shot, which was kind of like a volley, and it goes posting in as well. The crossbar, man, the crossbar helped us out massively today, and both goals obviously hit the crossbar, but both goals were beautiful. Both goals were really well taken, and both great assists. Lamine's to Dani was fantastic, and Rafinha's assist to Ferran was awesome as well. So I'm really happy Barca got those 2 goals. But yeah, apart from that, bro, like, people are going to talk about that pen that Las Palmas should have gone because it was a handball. People are going to say that the league is corrupt and Barca is why nobody likes Barca because they cheat all the time. I mean, the Las Palmas player was clearly offside. And even if he wasn't offside, he brings the ball down with his hand. Was Eddie Garcia's play a handball? Yes. He's looking away from the ball, of course, but his arm is in an unnatural position. If that guy wasn't offside and he didn't bring the ball down with his arm, it would have been a handball. But he did that, so it's not a handball. So I just wanted to clarify that because I know people get all upset when Barca, when people think that Barca get all the calls. But I mean, if you actually watch and you know the rules of football, you know that there's no way in hell that could ever be a pen. So glad the ref got that right because that would have been disastrous. Because I think if Las Palmas get that pen and they score that goal, this game would have ended in the tie. I don't think Barca would have had I don't think they would have had the energy to go out and get a second goal. So I'm really, really happy that was given as an offside and it wasn't a pen. But yeah, man, apart from that, I thought the second half we looked a lot better defensively. Szczesny's looking a lot better, man. He's looking a lot more comfortable in between the posts. I think he's having a better time as of late. Obviously, when he first came in, he was rusty. He was getting red cards. He was committing fouls. It wasn't the best. But since he started getting more consistent playing time and he's been the starter, you can tell he looks a lot more comfortable in between the posts. So I'm happy to see that. Also, his ability to play from the back, has gotten a lot better as well. Baile, like I said, was fantastic. I thought Kunde had a great second half. Eddie Garcia, I thought he played well today. You know what I mean? Inigo didn't play, so it was Cubarsi and Eddie Garcia. So I thought, Eddie actually had a pretty good game. I want to see Araujo play a little bit more because, I still rate Araujo very highly. I think we just have a gem sitting on the bench. But I get Hansi Flick, he feels like these two guys are better for breaking down the slow block because they're so good at playing out from the back. And I get it. So, he put in Eddie Garcia and he did a good job. Cubarsi, I thought had a fantastic game as well. The midfield, Pedri, it wasn't his best game, but he still had moments of magic where you're just like, this guy's just insanely good. I thought Casado had a decent game as well. Olmo, when he came in, was fantastic. The front three, Lamine and Rafinha, both get assists. Then we get to Robert Lewandowski, okay? Because I don't think Rafinha had the best game. I thought Lamine was fantastic in the second half, by the way. I think Lamine had a fantastic second half. I don't think Rafinha had the best second half, and he's actually, if you look at Rafinha's stats in terms of goals, his output hasn't been the same over the past couple weeks, but he got an assist and he made an impact on the game in some ways. Robert Lewandowski a lot of times just makes no impact on the game whatsoever, and that's what's frustrating to me because most of the time, honestly, he's just complaining. If you look at Robert Lewandowski, every time he doesn't get the ball, there could be 7 players in front of him. And if he doesn't get the ball, he's throwing his arms up in the air and complaining. And I fucking hate that, bro. It pisses me off. And I understand that as a number 9, you want your number 9 to want the ball at all times. I get that, okay? I appreciate that. But bro, at some point, man, it just gets annoying. You're always fucking complaining. Like, give it a rest. You're not going to get the ball every single time. And even when you get the ball, you're missing these chances. You're being wasteful with these chances. So for me, I feel like Barca we need to get rid of this idea that Lewandowski is our everyday number 9. We need to get rid of that idea. The sooner that Barca and Hansi Flick get rid of that idea, because Xavi had the same problem, by the way. Xavi had the same problem. We felt like we had to start Lewandowski every single game, and that's just not the case. You have Ferran Torres, who every time he's come on to games in the past couple, every time he's made an appearance in the last couple games that he's actually been brought off the bench or he started, he's actually been good. So I would want to see more Ferran Torres because we see every time he's on the pitch, he makes something happen. He's scoring a goal. He's helping out in the build-up. He's just making the attack way more fluid than it is with Lewandowski. Because a lot of times, when you're playing these teams that play a low block, like most of these teams in the Liga are when they're playing Barcelona, because Barca just have way more quality, and you have that fucking statue sitting up front, it makes it so much. You make it so much more difficult on yourself to actually break them down. So that's my opinion on that. But again, overall, I thought the team played a lot better in that second half. That first half was putrid, but I'm happy that we got the win. That is the most important thing. Barca got the win. We're going into a tough stretch of the season, bro. We're going into a really tough stretch of the season. It's not the same front three that we saw, obviously, back in October or even in December or even in September, obviously, or even in January. It's not the same front three that we've been seeing throughout the whole year. It seemed like all three of those guys have kind of slowed down a little bit. And that's not the thing you want to see as a Barca fan, because you would hope that they peak at this time, obviously until the end of the season. Hopefully Barca make it until the end of May, early June to play in that UCL final. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because again, Barca have struggled against these teams. So I think that Barca in the UCL in these more important games, this front three is actually gonna turn up. But again, it concerns me a little bit. I don't know about you guys. You guys can let me know in the comment section down below. But this kind of lack of form from the front three, it concerns me a bit. But yeah, like I said, we have a tough stretch coming up, but we need those guys. Atletico Madrid in the Copa del Rey, 2 legs. We're gonna need them. Benfica in the UCL, we're gonna need them. Real Sociedad next weekend. That's obviously always a tough game. We're gonna need them for that game. We're gonna need these guys. You know what I mean? So I really, really hope that whatever's holding them back right now, whatever's like making them not play at their best, I hope they can put that to the side and actually go back to playing what they were playing. I'm not like, I know they want to play that way. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that they're doing this on purpose, but again, it's football, man. Sometimes your form comes and goes, but it sucks that it seems like for our front three, they've been kind of like, they've been on this down period of form at the same time. You know what I mean? They kind of like, it all hit them at the same time. So I don't know. If one of them was performing like amazingly and the other two were kind of down, it makes sense. But for all three of them to be not as good as they were a couple weeks ago, it's concerning. But yeah, those are my thoughts, man. Barca get the win. That's the most important thing. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I love every single one of you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.